You're listening to Your Purpose and Business podcast, where we connect you to possibilities. I'm your host, Raquel Walters, a two-time best-selling author, millennial speaker, corporate trainer, advocate, and clinical social worker at heart. Your Purpose and Business podcast will connect you with everyday successful people who will share their impactful stories, insights, challenges, failures, and triumphs on how they're navigating the working world, whether by climbing the 9-to-5 corporate ladder or starting, growing, and scaling their business. So grab your pen and notebook because you'll want to implement the nuggets and tools, strategies shared in every episode. Class is in session. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Your Purpose and Business podcast. My name is Raquel. I'm your host, and I'm here with the beautiful couple, Mrs. Georgia Giles Jones and Bernard Jones. So Georgia Giles Jones and Bernard Jones met in 2010 while attending business management classes at St. Paul College. Georgia is a St. Paul native and has strong St. Paul family roots that date back to over 8 decades. Bernard was raised in Michigan but has been an active resident for over 15 years. Both grew up around and witnessed firsthand addiction and the negative impact it has on individuals, families, and communities. Their entrepreneurial spirit and passion for helping individuals looking for another chance at life inspired them to open a sober house. In 2015, Georgia and Bernard took the leap and decided to transform their own home into their first recovery home, Central House, followed by opening an additional sober home in 2017, Blair House. Their love for St. In 2015, Georgia and Bernard took the leap and decided to transform their own home into their recovery home, Central House, followed by opening an additional sober home in 2017, Blair House. Their love for St. Paul and the recovery community keeps them committed to growing their business. Starting in 2018 and 2019, Georgia and Bernard started helping individuals successfully open and manage recovery homes of their own, as well as establish a foundation for a successful business. When COVID-19 hit, it was important for recovery homeowners to remember they are truly essential and needed more than ever during this influx of worry, isolation, and change. Expand and create CVH Recovery. CVH Recovery, when COVID-19 when COVID-19 hit, it was important for recovery homeowners to remember they are truly essential and needed more than ever during this influx of worry, isolation, and change. It became the perfect time for Georgia and Bernard to expand Central Village Housing and create CVH Recovery. CVH Recovery encompasses our recovery home operator course, recovery home coaching, recovery home audit, and membership. This isn't only the next step in Georgia and Bernard's business, but an exciting venture for the couple. Welcome, Georgia Giles Jones and Bernard Jones, to Your Purpose and Business podcast.
Hello, we're happy to be here.
Thank you for having us.
I'm happy to have you both. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know your bio is rich. I can't wait to dive into CVH Recovery and how it started. But tell us a little bit something about yourselves that is not included in the bio.
Well, one thing about me, just say with me, I've been in business my whole life though. So that's something that I always had a love and a passion for. And it was just something that I always knew I wanted to go after. It was just about what business I was gonna go after. So
Yes.
That's my thing for me.
Awesome. What about you, Georgia?
Um, I guess something about me is that I'm such a people person. Um, we're actually grandparents, and everybody look at us like we're just such the non-traditional grandparents because we treat them as if they're our own kids. So that just shows our dedication to people, and it's just we're just happy to be around people. So with his business and my personalities of being such a people person, um, it's just we make a great team.
Yes, awesome. That's awesome. And it's beautiful that both of you can merge your personalities, your passion, and your goals together in creating CVH recovery. And so, Georgia and Bernard, we're on the Your Purpose and Business podcast, where a lot of times the persons it is difficult for them to identify what it is that they should be doing in this world, what it is that they're passionate about. And along life's journey, sometimes through our experiences or family member, loved ones' experiences, or the work that we're doing, it inspires us to elevate more. And in your case, I know a part of that story is creating and operating CVH recovery. So if you guys don't mind, just dive us deep into, what led you. Was it a personal experience you want to share with us, or was it something on the outside and there was a need that you wanted to service your community by creating these homes, these sober homes?
Yeah, so in 2015, we opened our first recovery home, Central Village Housing. That's the name of the business, and our first home is the Central House. The thing for us that made us want to open it because our home it was outgrowing us though, and we was just looking for a way to give back. We didn't want to be traditional landlords because we didn't want all the people to come damage the property and things of that magnitude. So someone has taught us about what a recovery home is, and we just did our research with it. We thought it would be the best opportunity for us because we was able to help a lot of people in the community.
Yes, and I had people really, really close to me struggle with alcohol and drugs. And I know, like in the Black community, sometimes, like, unless you get caught up in the criminal system and it's forced upon you to do treatment and things like that, it's like, oh, no, we're good. We can stop when we want to. It's not that big of a problem. Everybody in my family does it. Like, that's something that we don't do unless we get caught up and it's forced upon us. So being in a household and having a child of my own that struggled with it, it's like, if this is something we're going to do, how can we do it where it doesn't seem like it's a punishment, it's negative, and just being in the space to be able to create a place that someone could call home that I could see, whether it would be my mom, my sister, my dad, my son, my daughter, me, my husband, if they had to go to a place that's voluntary to get
Mm-hmm.
the help they need where they enjoy going and want to focus on their recovery, it was just perfect. I have a background in transitional housing, working at halfway houses, IRF facilities, adult foster care. And even though it's like maybe person centered and different things like that, it's still like it's a cookie cutter. There's a process of how it works, and us always following a certain type of protocol. And sometimes it's healthy, sometimes it's not. You really don't have no say because this is the regulations of how it works. Even if somebody's coming in and they're not really good for the other residents in that setting. So being able to have a place where I truly would go myself was just something exciting for us. And then hopefully with us creating it and being in the community, we're able for people to say, wow, like seriously, they're a black couple doing this. Maybe I should look more into what recovery looks like and different things like that because it's not, you know,
A bad thing.
yeah, it's not a bad thing, and I'm able to get into it. So just our presence, people's like, tell me more about it. Or people will call me like, how do I get help? How do I start the treatment to get into recovery? So
Right.
it feels good just being able to give those resources.
Yeah, and a lot of times in the Black community, what we see, as we always say, we like a small fraction of Black people across the nation who own recovery homes.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us, no matter where you're from, just Black in general, a lot of us don't even know what a recovery home is. A lot of us don't know about what treatment is. So like our thing and our goal is to like be the face for Black people, let them know if you ever run into us, we got
Non-white people, not
Yes.
just non-white people.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Um, yeah, but so when they see us, like we can be somebody that they can reach out and talk to. Like a lot of my friends and family, they either sold drugs or did drugs. I've seen a lot of my friends and family go to prison. So that was another reason what made sense for me to try to, give back and, help people because when they come out of prison systems and selling drugs. It's just a way to get back to people and just be a helping hand to those individuals in those tough times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy that you touched on the point that a lot of persons don't even know what a sober house slash recovery house is. So if you don't mind, if I could just scale back a little bit, George and Bernard, educate the audience a little bit more for those who are unsure of what a sober house is, what does it entail, what does it look like, especially when they come to homes such as CVH Recovery.
Go ahead, babe.
Go ahead.
Okay, so what a recovery home and people come to recovery homes after they may start with the inpatient treatment that may be anywhere from 10 to 60 days. Normally it's about 20, 28 days. After a person completes inpatient treatment for drug or alcohol use, they'll go to outpatient treatment, which could be like 5 hours a day. So how it works is that a person will go to outpatient treatment, but it's hard when they go back to a place where they're around negative people or people still using, or the environment is just triggering that it's so stressful they can't focus on the recovery. They got to just get back into what's happening, and then they self-medicate and start using drugs. So they won't even show up to outpatient. So that 28 days that they're in inpatient really don't do much to keep them in their recovery. So the long process is once they do outpatient, a lot of people will be doing outpatient and living in a safe place where they're living with like-minded people who's in the same journey of recovery. Everyone has made the commitment to not use drugs or alcohol. They hold each other accountable. They love on each other. They care on each other. They want the best for each other. And they go through this journey together. So they're developing friendship bonds, lifelines to better themselves for the duration of their recovery. And recovery is more of not just not using drugs or alcohol. Recovery is about like you're changing the people who you're around. It's a it's a life change, you know. So it's
Yeah.
something that you're gonna always constantly be in. So people will come to the home. People may stay for 6 months, a year, 2 years, whenever they feel that they're able to not use drugs or alcohol, because they know as long as they're in the house, people's gonna hold them accountable.
Right.
And so the recovery house, there's structured living, there's curfew, there's house meetings, you have house chores, you do so many, you have a sponsor, you have so many productive hours each week you're doing. You can't just go there and not do nothing. Like you're working on your recovery as well and doing the different goals that you have set for yourself, because even though you're not using drugs and alcohol, there's so many situations that has happened that a lot of times there's lots of mending, whether it's getting my kids back, whether it's getting my driver's license, maybe it's trying to get something expunged off my record, maybe it's to finish school or try to get a job because I lost my job because during that time of this disease of using drugs and alcohol, I messed a lot of stuff up. So it's them trying to get their life back on track. So that's what a recovery housing is, a structured place where it is a safe place where residents are able to put their guard down and be safe. No one's going to use drugs and alcohol. No one's going to talk down to you. It's really an uplifting place.
Yes, thank you for that. And especially in light of COVID-19, it has drawn so much stressors and stress, worry, isolation. There's research out there that, drugs and alcohol use has skyrocketed.
Yes,
And especially when it comes on to our Black minority communities,
right,
there's sort of this stigma that, I don't need help. I can, not this, addiction, whether that be
mhm,
whatever drug or alcohol. And you guys just can't tell me nothing. I'm just gonna do what I want to do.
right.
In your experiences, could you speak on, how it is that you're able to assist, whether it be family member, friends, or even referrals that you get to come into your sober home or recovery home. How it is, what approach do you use, if I may ask, to help that individual understand that help is here, and this is a safe space in order to address this addiction problem.
Right.
All right, well, I know just like a couple of things for me, like my mother, like one of her good friends is she been on drugs a long time. She went to treatment like 5 or 6 different times. So just like with us owning recovery homes, she never moved in, but we was just a big resource for her. But she in a different state, but she was going to move to Minnesota. That's where our recovery homes are, to come to the treatment, come to our recovery home, and we was going to assist her in putting her in a certain treatment center as well. So when like by our family members knowing what we do, we like can help them and their friends, anybody who they know, like move into a recovery home though. So that's
Mhm.
a great thing about owning a recovery home, especially in our community. Like Georgia said, a lot of people we just don't know what a recovery home is.
Right.
Right.
And the recovery community, it's we didn't know, but we found out that it's a in Minnesota, it's a large community, and a lot of it is word of mouth. So we started back in 2015, didn't know much. We invited, treatment directors to our house, reached out, mail out stuff, came to events and stuff like that. We are really down to earth people. When a person wants the help, whether regardless if it's money or something going on, we're like, look, just come and we'll figure all that out. The bottom line is that you're safe. So just real quick, we got a call yesterday from a young lady. She's African American, and she had surgery 3 weeks ago, and she was at a hotel because she cannot go back to her house because everybody in her house they drink or do drugs. So she's like, if I and the surgery that she had was related to her drinking because she's an alcoholic. That's all she knew. So they took an organ out of her body and her kidney out, and she calls crying, and she Bernard answered the phone like Central Village Housing. So she was like, hello, hello, and we're like, yeah. So I talked to her. She's like, I if I go home, I'm going to die. I cannot die. um, I like the lady at the hotel told me she's 19 years in recovery. I don't know who she is. She's just someone who worked there. I've been staying there for the last 3 weeks. And she was like, she connected her to a treatment. Um, she no, she they connected her to someone who knew me. I don't know who this person is. So when she's like, you need to call Georgia, she has a house, she's a great person. I have no idea who this person is, and it's all that word of mouth. Um, the lady at the hotel told her to call someone else, and the lady at this fellowship place told her to call me. Then connected her to another treatment center. Somehow it got back to me, but when she came today, she moved in and she just kept crying and crying. And she said, as soon as your husband just answered the phone, it's not like Central Village Housing, hello. She was like, his voice was just like, I just melted when I said I made this call for the right reason. So it was a good fit. But just that fact of someone told her about me. I don't even know who this person is, but that reputation. And yes, some residents it don't work out, but at the end of the day, it's like because it wasn't a good fit. Maybe our house was too structured, maybe this, but at the end of the day, recovery is about being in a place that you're receiving that love and that care, and you have that place to not use drugs and alcohol. You're not being judged. Providing whatever is needed. Like we know it's just not you not doing drugs and alcohol. So a lot of treatment centers, they'll be like, well, this person really needs to be at your house. Like they really need this. They really want the recovery. So we know that you're not in this for the money. Yes, you get paid, but at the end of the day, it's bigger than you receiving money on their behalf. So it's
Yes.
just the word of mouth of different people talking in the community about the recovery housing that we provide for the people.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that because listening to you both, the theme that's coming up for me is one of pure heart and love for the type of work that you're doing and how you're serving in your communities. And it also stems from your own personal experiences amongst family members, etc. And it this is huge because it all ties into your purpose, whether you recognize that or not, and you were able to own a business, start and operate a business that is also assisting that service to persons in need, right? Because a lot of times there's a quote by Yogananda that says environment is stronger than will. And what that really means is that sometimes your clients can't go, people can't go back to their own housing situation because there are many triggers. And
Yes.
so for CVH Recovery Homes, it's a place where individuals can get their mind right, get back on track, get some structure in their lives, and get away from those triggers. Yes,
Yes.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but it's a
Right.
process. But that's why you have recovery homes such as yours that will help that client along their recovery journey and have much needed support. So in yes, you're welcome. You want to
And
say
it's like
something,
what
Bernard?
Georgia, what Georgia said, like sometimes it won't be a good fit. Maybe sometimes like they may know about recovery home and they might want to move in, but the timing might not just be right.
Yeah.
They might not be all already ready to commit to being practicing sobriety at that time or changing their lifestyle. And that we all, like I always say, we all got vices. It's all about how we can control them, and they just might not be at that spot at their life at that point in time.
And when
Yes.
they are, they will call us, and
Yeah.
then we be like, "Come on back."
Yeah.
Yes. So open, receiving them with wide open arms. And it's also good that, your name is out there because that lady was able to refer that lady
Yes.
to your recovery home. So that's amazing. In shifting gears a little bit though, because we do want to know about the business aspect. And I know Bernard, your husband, touched a little bit on it in the beginning. Where did the idea, if you want to revisit that idea of, okay, to discuss amongst yourself, I don't know who had the idea, you can share with us. So maybe we need to open up this turn this thing into a business so that we can help serve more. Where did that idea come from, if you remember?
So to be honest with you, we met in 2010, on and off. Just we did schoolwork and stuff together. A few years later, we kind of started dating, and I literally was working two jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was stressed. And he had a cleaning business that he was doing. I worked overnights for one of my jobs. He worked like 1 o'clock and after, when everything would close, the nightclubs and different things would close because he would had his cleaning contract. So just us trying to be together, it's like we're dating and we see each other once or twice a week, because it was just crazy. Like we would be sleeping. So I was tired. Like I couldn't do this no more. Like we're working, we're paying this high mortgage. This house is big and I don't even go downstairs, but I can't keep working two jobs. Like I'm going to kill myself. And I want to spend time with you. So you can't keep doing this cleaning business. So we was really at a standstill of we have to do something. And literally I was like, I want to rent my house out because I don't need all this space. I could cut my bills down by so much money and then I don't have to work crazy. Um, so when my sister brought it to me and was like, "Why would you rent out your house and you could do a recovery house? This is what you do anyways." I'm like, "I don't know what a recovery house is." So she kind of told me a little bit about it. So I'm like, baby, Maisha told me about a recovery house. So I kind of told him what it was, and then he just took it. Like for me, I've been an employee all my life. So it's like, oh, maybe in 5 or 10 years, this is just a thought, not like, and right then and there, it's just like, oh, she taught us this, but it was not, no thought of action in my mind. So after I told him, like, not even 2 days later, he's like, okay. And he had a plan laid out. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. I just said it. I wasn't like, this is like in a year or two, maybe, He's like, no, like now, so you can finish.
Yes.
Oh yeah, my goal is always to turn people goals into reality, bring their goals to life. A lot of people don't got the confidence and self-esteem to believe in themselves though. So like after just doing the research and everything, it just seemed like it was the right thing to do. I called a couple different recovery homes. I called this organization up here. I called the city, got the requirements, and it just made sense to do from a helping aspect and then also from a business aspect as well. So we've been on a great path and a great journey, and we happy that we did that because we helping people, and yeah, it made out to be another business as well.
Yes,
Right.
that's amazing. Yes. Yeah. So were there any challenges that came along the way in starting up this business, CVH
Central,
recovery?
yeah, Central Village Housing.
Yes.
Um, So the challenge was because, in all due honesty, we really didn't do all our research. So we had a 3 bedroom, but we had 3 bedrooms in the basement, but we didn't have egresses down there, so they not considered to be a bedroom. So what we did is we called and we added egress windows and turned that 3 bedroom to a 6 bedroom. But one thing we didn't know about is you got to contact the city because it's certain zoning in each neighborhood. So, you know, this block might be able to only have 10 people in the home for a recovery home, and this block may be able to have 16. So it just so happened we just did it, and we was able to get 12 people, but it was a blessing because we didn't do our research on that end of it because we had spent $2,500 per window to get those egresses installed, and without those, because down in the basement we get 8 people downstairs. Without those 8 people downstairs, it would have been problematic, and the numbers wouldn't it wouldn't have made sense. So that's one thing that we
challenges of just finding the resources. So we did this. We didn't find out until afterwards because there's nothing out there to kind of tell you. So it was just challenging. We did the research that it's capable and it's possible to have a recovery home, but no one's telling you the steps. So we was doing step F and then went to A and like, oh goodness. So we was jumping everywhere. So just that piece and
you don't know the questions to ask, basically.
Yeah,
you
just know. Yeah.
Can we have a sober, do it meet this qualification? That's it.
Yeah.
But nothing else like how many people can fit in a home,
what you need.
Yeah, what's the requirements, how many refrigerators you need in the home, none of that type stuff. That's all stuff that we had to figure out on our own.
So so that part was challenging. And then like what does a housing agreement look like? Like we know it's not tenant landlord law. So what are we supposed to put in here? You know, how are we supposed to run it? How do we have it structured? So a lot of 2015 and moving on, it's like, oh, learning lessons. We tried this and it didn't work. So we're not going to do it like that. Now we're going to do it like this. So we made lots of changes, getting feedback from residents as well. For some reason, a lot of the recovery home owners that we know, operators, it's very shush. Like they're not trying to give you any guidance or anything at all. You're just like, okay. Even though it's really not competition because there's more than enough people who are struggling with drugs and alcohol. Unfortunately. So you're not, it shouldn't even be about competition, but it's such a quiet, untapped market that I guess people feel like it's a secret. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. So it was challenging. So we did a lot of stuff by trial and error.
Yes.
Trial and error.
And yes, and so just the ability to wanting to start, because so many times, you know, we have these ideas or concept in how we want to serve, not necessarily knowing the process, but you know, you were able to speak with your husband and he took it and ran with it because he had a prior business experience, and then you guys came together to form the business. Now, especially in our minority communities, you know, a lot of you know, aspiring business owners, they don't know the first step to start their business in a particular niche market. For you, it's the addiction you know, market, and helping people to get back on track, right? So I know that for CVH recovery, you guys have, you know, courses, if you want to speak on, you know, what's coming up with the services you offer, so that we can have more minority run businesses that are out there to help serve our communities. Because oftentimes, and I hate to sound like this, but it's the truth, oftentimes the businesses that service our community are a lot of times Caucasian and Asian and Jewish run, right? And so how do we position our people, our Black people, in order to empower them that yes, you too can become business owners and be good at it as well? And you know, if you're interested in the addiction space, you know, our company can help guide you and shortcut that process in order for you to be successful without making too many you know, failures, you know, because I'm sure throughout your process you failed a lot, but you also learned a lot from that. And because of that knowing, now you're able to guide persons who want to start their own business. So go ahead and speak to how you can help.
All right, so you said a couple good things though, but the one thing I want to say to people, if you're not winning, you learning. Don't never take it as a like that you losing or nothing like that. It's just a learning lesson. So once you figure out the learning process, you're gonna come back and be that much more better in your next journey. E-course, what we was doing prior to we even thought about this e-course is a lot of people was coming to us like in 2017, 18, 19 about like we was coaching a lot of people in our area to open up recovery homes. We did the paperwork. We did a lot of marketing. We did a lot of stuff for them to open up recovery homes. But we was just getting so consumed because we had so many people coming to us, and we wanted to do it on a more wider scale instead of like a local level. So that's the reason why we came up with our e-course, because we look at it as a way for you some people to become business owners, but also to help other individuals who need that recovery house. Now we in Minnesota, but somebody in Georgia might want to open up a recovery home, but they just don't know how to do it though. If you don't know us personally prior to us releasing the e-course, you probably wouldn't be able to get that knowledge from anyone else though, because it's such a niche market, and it's such a white ran business that if you don't know these people, they're not going to talk to you. So we just released our e-course where you can go to cvhrecovery.com, and we just show you everything from A to Z, how to open, operate, and manage your own recovery home. Another reason why we felt like it was the best thing to do, because like Georgia said, we went through a lot of trials and errors in these last 5, almost 6 years, and we still learning. But for a lot of individuals, they don't even know how to get to A. So if these is your goals, if you need some assistance, if you need like that black face to motivate you, that's the reason why we did it. So we can help other people like us, like-minded people, more minorities, to get into recovery homes on the coming in side for assistance and on the business side.
Yes, yes.
And I would like to say too, another thing that I should have shared at the beginning was that we met at St. Paul College. Neither one of us got a degree. We didn't graduate. So we are successful business owners. We don't have these degrees. We don't have all this stuff. And I say that because a lot of people, when you think recovery or when you think this, you think you have to be at a certain level in life, and you don't. Um, we have a webinar, and I explain to people like I had 2 kids by the age of 19. Like I was that statistic that I wasn't going to be nothing. I was probably supposed to have 5 more kids, and depend on the state. So we just want to show people like not because we can do it, but you really can do it. Like you don't have to plan for a year or 5 years. Use us to say that couple, like their highest education is. We both graduated from high school. We do have some college credits, but we never got our degrees from college, and we are helping other people change their lives for the better. And it turned around that it helped us. Like we worked ourselves out of a job. Like I'm no longer an employee. Like I don't clock in and clock out anymore. Um, Even when people talk about different things, I'm like, my life changed when I was 35. When I turned 35, it was like, wow, like I became a business owner. A lot of people want to be entrepreneurs now. And I say, it just might not be your time. Like, don't just give up. Like you don't have to do it now. Like who would have thought at 35 my life would have changed? Like get married, start a business. People tell us all day like thank you so much, and we're like don't thank us. Like you're doing the hard work. Just don't thank us. And it's Miss Georgia, Mr. Bernard. Like everyone's looking up to us, and we're like you're doing it. Like don't no thank you. So two people growing up where society makes it looks like we're not going to be the successful business people because we didn't go to that great college. We don't have our master degree, our associate degree, any of that kind of stuff. Having kids at a young age, that we could do it. You could do it just as well. Like you're able to start a business, find your purpose, and it will work itself out. Like you can have the confidence at the level of where you're at.
Yeah, and that's like one thing too, is like in business you gotta have patience though. Like nothing gonna happen overnight. You can't come in, even for me, I can't come into no business looking for instant gratification. So sometimes when I see a lot of these young entrepreneurs, who when I say young, I mean they just might have started, they might be 45, but they just starting though. They think just because they come out with a service or a product that the general public automatically going to accept it. That's 99% of the time not going to be true. You got to put in your work. You got to learn from the process. And like the thing is, me personally, I always try to do non-traditional stuff. Like I'm not knocking school or anything like that. I think it's great, especially if you're gonna go for a doctor or a lawyer, things of that nature. But with me, I already knew from my high school years that college, what I might go for a couple classes and things of that nature. I was gonna pick and choose the classes that I want, but overall, the best school for me was putting hands-on work, the school of hard knock, what they say, and then just putting in the work that come along with it though, because you can have all the knowledge, but if you're not gonna put in the work, nothing's ever gonna come to life with it though. You gotta put in the work, you gotta put in the time, you just gotta be patient with everything that you're doing. You can't be looking for instant gratification.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm so happy that both of you touch on, you don't have to have the degrees to start. Just start with the knowledge that you have. Nobody is saying that you need to have all these credentials, because at the end of the day, your experience, your expertise, your skill sets, your knowledge will carry you a long way, especially when it comes on to business. And so I am so happy that you are serving people in the space that you're serving people, because there's so many people are hurting, especially in light of this pandemic. And I think that your programs is helping so many people. And I just wanted to just let you both know that to continue to serve, because
Thank you.
you're valuable, you're needed, especially in our communities. You're very welcome. And I know that sometimes the days may get challenging. You may have challenging individuals you're dealing with. Some persons not necessarily seeing the help that you're providing right away because of where they are in their own recovery process. But them knowing that they have a safe space that they can turn to whenever it is that they're ready
Right.
putting in the work towards living in recovery. So definitely I want to thank you publicly as well. So just in closing, let us find out how persons can contact CVH Recovery. Let us know the website again, the Instagram handles, and if you have any upcoming programs, courses, or consultation calls that they could make with you for somebody struggling with recovery.
If individuals see this and they want to move into our recovery home, you can go to centralvillagehousing.com. You can do the virtual tour online. You can see our homes online. They're beautiful homes. If somebody watching and they want to like get into the recovery business, you can go to cvhrecovery.com. You can purchase our self-paced e-course where you can learn at your own pace and learn the ins and outs to open a successful recovery home in any city and state. We also do coaching,
Recovery home audits.
recovery home audits. You can find us on social media on Facebook at Facebook CVH Recovery and Instagram at CVH.recovery.
And we just came out with a YouTube channel.
Awesome. What is the name of the YouTube channel?
CVH Recovery.
Awesome. CVH Recovery, guys. It's just been a pleasure and an honor to have you both on here. And if you could leave our audience with one thing, tying in their purpose with aspiring, business owners, or if they're entrepreneurs already, what comes to mind, just as an encouragement to your fellow business owners or aspiring business owners?
Work hard and don't ever give up though.
And I would say respect the process. Just respect the process and have patience.
I love it. I love it. Work hard, don't give up, and respect the process and have patience. It's been a pleasure having you both, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And guys, as always, be good to yourself. And we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you've loved this episode, let's stay in touch. Head over to RaquelWalters.com and subscribe to my email list so that I can send you updates on new episodes, exclusive motivational nuggets, and insider knowledge that's only shared when you join our community. Please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and leave a review, as I want to know your thoughts about every episode. Follow me on Instagram at Your Purpose and Business Podcast. And remember, your life is beautiful, and this is a part of your journey. So embrace it. Speak to you soon.